Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich. Today is a sad day because news broke out early in the morning in India, Indian time that is, that Charlie Munger had passed away. And I thought we'll reflect upon all the things he shared with us. And one of the most remarkable things he shared with us was a famous speech of his called The Psychology of Human Misjudgment. I'll ask the team to link that speech video down somewhere in the description. Hopefully, if they'll have done it. If they have not done it, if they fail to have done it, you guys just have to go to YouTube and search The Psychology of Human Misjudgment, Charlie Munger, and there's lots of people who have posted that speech up. And I strongly urge you to listen to it. It's a long speech. It runs well over an hour and 20 minutes, I think. And if you do have the time, I strongly urge you to listen to it. It's a wonderful speech. And I thought I'll just talk, for those of you who don't have the time, briefly talk about what the speech was about and why it's such a remarkable speech and why all of you should listen to it and why it is important to remember what Charlie has spoken in that and try and realize this and try and implement it and follow it and be aware of it in our life. Yes, me and Shasha did talk about Robert Cialdini's book, influences and importance of behavioral economics, and it's very strange to sitting and talking about Shashwat and how saying Charlie Munger loves his book, and now fast forward and he's gone. So the first thing he talks about is evolution of human behavior. He talks about how humans are draws the parallels between humans and other less cognitively gifted animals such as insects, and the social structures and the hierarchy and the dynamics, and how human beings have evolved the way we have, and the advantages human beings have, and how human behavior has evolved. And when he talks about that, gets into this subject of psychology, and he says that he was not what do you call it? I would say, yeah, he was ignorant of the subject. He didn't know about psychology, and once he realized what psychology is, it became a personal journey for him, and he deep dived into it as he always does, driven by the curiosity, the desire to understand why human beings are irrational and what leads to misjudgment. He deep dived and studied it and read all about it, and he found out a lot of interesting things which he shares in this speech. One of the first things he shares is about the roles of incentive, and he says it's very powerful and it shapes human behavior and shapes society. And he gives many examples in businesses and in history where people have used the power of incentives. And he talks about the negative aspects of it, and he talks about the positive aspects of it, how it can have a negative impact in society and people can use it for the wrong reasons. And then he also talks about the unintended consequences they can also produce, which is very, very well thought out in his speech. And it's really remarkable how he develops his insights into this. And the next thing he gets into is about the impact of psychological tendencies. And in that, he lists out 25 tendencies of psychological tendencies, human behavior and behavioral thinking we suffer from. Me and Sasha did briefly talk about it in that book of influences, and Anand has spoken about it many times, different tendencies. But what Munger does is he lists them all out one by one and he deep dives into each one. That's why that speech runs over an hour and 20 minutes. And if I get into that list of 25 in this video will run well past our usual 10-minute brief. And I'm sure a lot of you won't have the time or have the inclination to listen to it. And if you do, I strongly urge you to read the book, Influences, and watch the video, Charlie's video. I would suggest you do watch the video first, then you'll feel inspired to reading the book rather than the other way around. And in those tendencies, he talks about reward and punishment, super responses tendencies, liking and loving tendencies, disliking, hating tendencies, doubt and avoidance tendencies, inconsistency and avoidance tendencies. There are many more others he gets into in this list of 25, which I strongly urge that you have a listen to it, especially if you want to pay homage to him. Nothing like listening to him. An incentive cost bias is something he talks about and highlights as a significant factor that's affecting human decision making. And he gives examples in professions, in office, in context, and illustrates how he has experienced it in his own office while hiring people and recruiting people, and how sometimes it can lead to unethical behavior. And he gives some beautiful examples and anecdotes in his own life. interacting with human species on how this has played out. Incentive cost biases. If you don't know what this bias is, I strongly urge that you Google it and you read about it. It's a lovely thing to understand and wrap your head around, and you'll suddenly realize, and you have many aha moments when you read about these biases, and you'll be like, I didn't know. Yes, I've seen this happen to me, or I've seen this happen in front of me. I've seen this happen in my family. And the most important thing which you can take away from this speech is, even Charlie, with all his knowledge and everything, he was always curious. And that curiosity led to a lot of learning. And he strikes upon this, underlines it over and over again, why we should all remain curious, and the advancement of human knowledge is paramount. And all of this can only be done through rigor of education and questioning and understanding from those questioning. And he gives a nice contrast between civilizations of the past to civilizations of today. That is our current civilization, where we are right now in modern world. And he says very eloquently, like, what happens to society when we give up the pursuit of knowledge, when we give up the rigor of science? What happens to society, and where we should never let go of this? And this brings us to when he talks about fairness and justice. And he talks about the idea of humans' innate desire for seeking fairness and justice. And you can see that even in today's world. Yes, initial attacks on Israel was very cruel and not right in any shape or form. But then the Israelis' response to it has galvanized the world. And even people who are vehement supporters of Israel find it very hard to take this stance when we see the footage, what is coming out of Gaza. So that kind of gives you an idea that human beings, yes, we always tend to seek some kind of fairness and justice. That whatever people react to, even you can hold on to something very dearly, but when we do feel that it's not fair anymore and it's not just anymore, we do tend to change our positions. Another thing he talks about is envy and jealousy, and how, as an investor, value investor, you have to be careful of this, and it can lead to very poor judgment on your part or other people's part. So this is something which you should look at and pay attention to. Then he talks about the complex interplay of psychological tendencies between numerous societal and society, and how we all interact with each other, and the implications of that, and how we as a species behave psychologically, and how it has lasting impact in our society, and something to think about. But more of this is pinned on this center theme of human psychology, and that is something Charlie discovered. And once he discovered it and he had studied it and understood it, he thought that is the most important thing to share with humanity, more than even value investing, I would say, and how to invest or how not to invest. He was fixated on human psychology. And he realized that is the most important thing, as part of his legacy should be, is driving that everyone should understand what human psychology is, and how we behave, and how we form biases, and how these biases shape our society, is what Charlie would have wanted us to remember him for. And I do hope you have the time and inclination to watch his full speech. It's wonderful. And read the book, Influences. It is sad that he has passed, and I'm sure tributes are there all over the world, and many people will be having far more nuanced tributes than what I'm offering here. And if you do have the time, to spend some time reading about them and listening and watching them, because it is a wonderful life Charlie Munger led, and it's a wonderful example he has set. So with that, in the memory of Charlie Munger, I'd like to wish you a wonderful evening, and I'll see you in the next one tomorrow. Bye.
So after Kuwait, my team has decided to do an event in Trivandrum. Those who are desirous of meeting me in Trivandrum can contact our team at trivandrummp@gmail.com, the mail ID given below, or the WhatsApp number given below. My team would fill in you with the details. The event would be in January 2024. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.